What if I told you your biggest enemy isn't the economy, your past, or even the people who doubted you? It's the battlefield inside your own head. Two men lose the same job. One curses his boss, blames the world, and sinks deeper into bitterness. The other wakes up earlier, sharpens his skills, and reinvents himself completely. Same event, different master. What changed, not the world? The mind. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. And yet most of us live like slaves to our emotion, snapping when triggered, drowning in distraction, addicted to comfort. That's why you stay stuck. That's why change feels impossible. But here's the truth, your life doesn't need more comfort. It needs more clarity, more courage, and more brutal honesty. That's where Stoicism comes in, not as dusty philosophy, but as a weapon forged for chaos, built to make you unshakable. Today I'm giving you 10 brutal Stoic rules that strip away excuses and force you to rise. By the end, you won't just think differently, you'll be different. If you're ready, say it with me. I fix my mind. I fix my life. Rule 1, stop negotiating with your weakness. Have you ever noticed how the most dangerous enemy isn't out there? It's inside. It's not the critics, not the doubters, not the obstacles. It's the voice in your own head that whispers, just this once. Hit snooze. Skip the workout. Send that text you know you shouldn't. That voice doesn't shout. It bargains. It negotiates. And every time you accept the deal, you trade strength for weakness. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You must build up your life action by action and be content if each one achieves its goal as far as possible, and no one can keep you from this." Read that again. No one can keep you from this. The only enemy strong enough to derail you is not the world, not other people, it's the version of you that settles for less. Let me tell you a story. I had a friend, let's call him John. John was brilliant, sharp, overflowing with potential. But every day he made small deals with his weakness. He'd say, "I'll start my side project next week," or "one more drink won't matter." He told himself these stories for years. His talent stayed intact, but his willpower, his discipline eroded. Not because of one catastrophic failure, but because of 1,000 tiny negotiations. Weakness doesn't knock you out with one punch. It bleeds you out drip by drip. And here's the truth you need to hear just this once is not a small decision. It's a vote for the kind of person you are becoming. When you snooze, you're not just missing a wake-up, you're casting a vote for being someone who betrays their own word. When you skip the workout, you're not just losing a rep, you're practicing letting comfort win. Each choice carves character. So here's the drill. For the next 7 days, pick one non-negotiable. Just one. It could be your wake time. It could be a daily workout. It could be a 30-minute writing block. But here's the rule, treat it like a flight. Think about it. When a plane leaves the runway, it doesn't care how tired you are, how busy you are, or how much you want to stay in bed. It departs on schedule with or without your mood. That's how you must treat your non-negotiable. Your metric is simple, 5 out of 7 completions in a week. That's the pass line. If you hit it, you've proven you can put principle above feeling. And once you do that consistently, something shocking happens. The voice of weakness gets quieter. Because weakness only speaks loudly when you've trained yourself to listen. Remember, there is no peace without discipline. There is no greatness without sacrifice. And there is no strong mind without facing down your own weakness and saying, "Not today." So let this line be etched into your mind, repeated like a mantra whenever you feel the urge to bargain. No more deals with weakness. If you're ready to live this, type it in the comments right now. And when you do, don't think of it as just writing words. You are casting your first vote for strength. Rule 2, control your reactions or be controlled by them. Think about this. 2 men hear the exact same insult. One laughs, shrugs it off, and keeps moving. The other carries it like a dagger in his chest for weeks. Same words, same moment, yet 2 completely different realities. Why? Because it's not the insult itself that wounds us, it's the story we tell ourselves about it. Epictetus said it bluntly. It's not things that disturb us, but our opinions about them. And that's the heart of Stoic practice. The Stoics believe that your reaction is where true freedom lives. Events are neutral. Your interpretation writes the script. Think about it in your own life. When you get no reply to a text, that's just data, a timestamp. But the moment you say, "They don't respect me," or "I must not matter," you've crossed from fact into story. And stories, especially the emotional ones, are optional. So how do you take back control? Here's a drill you can use anytime. Call it the FSV method, fact, story, virtue. Step 1. Label the fact. Example, no reply in 2 hours. Step 2. Spot the story. Example, they're ignoring me because I'm not important. Step 3. Choose the virtue. Wisdom says don't invent motives. Courage says wait calmly. Justice says respect their time. Temperance says don't spiral. It takes less than 30 seconds, but the effect is huge. Neuroscience even backs it up. Labeling thoughts reduces emotional reactivity by calming the amygdala. In practice, it means you're no longer hijacked by your first reaction, you're directing it. Try this log 5 reframes this week. Track your emotions like a scientist. Most people notice a 20 to 30% drop in emotional spikes simply by separating fact from fiction. Imagine that less stress, less spiraling just from changing the lens. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself every morning, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. And he was right. When you master your reactions, you become untouchable. No one can bait you. No one can control you. You reclaim your peace. So let's make this your mantra etched into your bones. My peace is mine. I don't auction it. Say it out loud, comment it, live it, because your peace isn't for sale. Rule 3, do hard things, especially when you don't feel like it. Here's a brutal truth most people already know exactly what they need to do. Wake up earlier, stop scrolling, exercise, speak up, focus. But here's the trap, they don't do it. Why? Because they're waiting to feel like it. And feelings are the most unreliable compass you can follow. Epictetus put it plainly, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. Translation, stop waiting for perfect approval. Stop waiting for motivation. Just do the hard thing, even if nobody else understands why you're doing it. Motivation is a mood. Discipline is a decision. One fades with the weather. The other is forged in action. The Stoics didn't wait for perfect conditions. They leaned into discomfort. They trained themselves to move, especially when they didn't want to. Think about Marcus Aurelius waking at dawn, reminding himself at daybreak when you don't want to get up, have this thought, I am rising to do the work of a human being. That's not motivation. That's duty. And here's the modern version, the first rep rule. When you don't feel like working out, don't commit to the whole session. Just do the first rep. When you don't feel like writing, don't promise a chapter. Just write the first sentence. When you don't feel like meditating, don't chase enlightenment. Just sit for 1 minute. Momentum beats mood. Always. Here's your challenge log, 21st reps in the next 30 days. That's it. Don't aim for perfection, aim for momentum. Because every time you do a first rep, you're training your brain to stop waiting to feel ready and to start proving that you already are. Seneca warned us, we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. Think about it. The hardest part of a workout isn't the push-up. It's the 20 minutes you spend dreading the push-up. The hardest part of speaking up is the sentence itself. It's the spiral of hesitation before it leaves your mouth. So when the alarm rings, when the hard task looms, don't negotiate. Don't delay. Don't overthink. Just do the first rep. Because you always have a choice, the pain of discipline now or the pain of regret later. Write it into your mind and comment it below to lock it in. Choose the pain of discipline now or the pain of regret later. Rule 4, cut the noise master. Your focus, look around your day. Endless notifications, constant scrolling, buzzing headlines, meaningless chatter. Most people don't fail because they're lazy. They fail because they're noisy. Their attention is shattered into 1,000 fragments, and a fragmented mind cannot build a focused life. Seneca warned us centuries ago, if you are everywhere, you are nowhere. Think about that. If your mind is scattered across 10 different tasks, 20 different apps, and 50 different worries, you're nowhere. You're not here and you're not building anything that lasts. Let's be honest, how much of your day is spent in deep, undistracted focus? For most people, it's less than an hour. Yet modern research proves it takes on average 23 minutes to recover from a single distraction. That means if you check your phone just 3 times in an hour, that hour is already gone, wasted, lost forever. The Stoics valued clarity above all. Marcus Aurelius wrote, concentrate every minute like a Romanon, doing what's in front of you with genuine seriousness. He didn't say multitask. He didn't say scroll for motivation. He didn't say chase a dozen half-finished ideas. He said focus, one task, genuine seriousness, full presence. So here's your drill. Create 60 sacred minutes every day. 1 full hour, phone outside the room, one task only. No split tabs. No background noise, just depth. Just you and the work in front of you. Because this is where breakthroughs live, not in multitasking, but in mastery. Your metric 20 deep sessions per month. That's 20 hours of pure, undistracted focus. And here's the truth. That's already more than most people give themselves in an entire year. Think of it this way. Focus is the tax you pay to your future. Every distraction is debt. Every deep hour is investment. Which side are you choosing, debt or investment? So write it down and say it with me. Attention is the tax you pay to your future. Comment it below. Guard your attention like your life depends on it, because it does. Rule 5, stop seeking approval. Here's the paradox: we love ourselves more than anyone else, yet we care more about their opinions than our own. Marcus Aurelius said that, and it should sting because it's still true today. Why do we hesitate? Why do we shrink back when it's time to act? Because deep down we're still asking, what will they think? But the Stoics would challenge us. Who is they, strangers on the internet? People whose own lives are in chaos. Why hand them the keys to your worth? Here's the reality: growth threatens the comfortable. The moment you start waking earlier, training harder, speaking with clarity, others will feel exposed. Your progress highlights their stagnation. And instead of cheering, they may mock, dismiss, or doubt you. That's not a verdict on your worth, it's a reflection of their fear. Epictetus warned, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. Translation: be willing to be misunderstood. Be willing to walk forward even when no one claps. Because power is not in being liked, it's in being aligned. Here's your drill practice, the Lone Wolf Hour. Once a week, take one meaningful step toward your goal without announcing it, without posting it, without seeking validation. Write one page. Build one habit. Train your body. Do it in silence. Let the work be its own applause. Your metric 4 silent wins this month. Just 4. That's enough to feel the shift. Because every silent victory proves something to you: that you don't need permission, you don't need likes, you don't need witnesses. You only need consistency. So when your mind whispers, but what will they think, answer it with this line: don't perform power, become it. Type it below, live it daily, and stop waiting for applause. Because greatness has never needed permission. Rule 6, silence is power. Think about the last time you overshared. Maybe you told someone your plans and instead of cheering you on, they doubted you. Or maybe you reacted too quickly in anger and later regretted every word. Here's the truth. Words once released can't be taken back. Epictetus gave us a rule worth engraving. Let silence be your general rule, or say only what is necessary and in few words. And yet the world today glorifies noise. Everyone posts, comments, reacts instantly. More noise, less thought. But the Stoic knows silence is a shield. It guards your energy, your dignity, and your plans. The more you talk, the more you leak. The more you pause, the more you master yourself. Here's your drill practice, the 2-beat pause. Before you reply to a text, before you answer in a meeting, before you clap back online, pause. Count, own 2. And only then, if words are still needed, speak them. You'll be surprised how many conflicts dissolve in that small space. Your metric track 10 held silences this week. 10 moments where you reclaim power, not by what you said, but by what you refuse to give away. Here's the paradox. People fear silence because silence forces them to confront themselves. But for the Stoics, silence is strength. When you don't explain, don't justify, don't leak your plans, you move with quiet power. So say this out loud with me. Let silence speak for your strength. Write it in the comments. Carry it into your week. And remember, sometimes the loudest voice in the room is the one that says nothing at all. Rule 7, own mistakes, no shame, no excuses. Here's a brutal truth: everyone fails, but not everyone grows. The difference isn't the failure itself, it's what comes after. Ownership. Seneca wrote, a gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials. Mistakes aren't proof that you're broken. They're proof that you're human. But what you do next that determines everything. Most people hide. They blame others. They make excuses. or they bury themselves in shame. But shame keeps you stuck. Ownership sets you free. Let me tell you a story. A young athlete missed the championship game because of his own laziness in training. He could have blamed the coach, the team, even the weather. But instead, he stood up in the locker room and said, "I failed. That won't happen again." That single act of ownership transformed him from a liability into a leader. So here's your drill. Practice the FOK loop fact ownership correction. Facts state what happened. No sugarcoating. Ownership, claim your part. No excuses. Correction. Name the fix and commit to it by Friday. That's it. Simple, powerful, repeatable. Your metric complete 3 FOC loops this month. That's 3 mistakes turned into momentum. 3 failures turned into fuel. And here's the mantra to carve into your mind: I own my past. I rise with purpose. Say it. Drop it in the comments. Because in Stoicism, mistakes aren't the end of your story. They're the raw material of your becoming. Rule 8. Make discomfort your teacher. What if the very thing you keep running from, the awkward silence, the sting of rejection, the sweat of hard training, wasn't your enemy, but your greatest teacher? Epictetus wrote, "Don't hope that events will turn out the way you want. Welcome events in whichever way they happen. This is the path to peace." Here's the brutal truth: avoided pain becomes chronic pain. That uncomfortable conversation you dodge, it hardens into years of resentment. That workout you skip, it compounds into decades of weakness. That fear you never face, it becomes the cage that defines your life. But when you meet discomfort head on, it transforms. It becomes tuition, the price you pay to earn strength. Mini story: after a breakup, I felt shattered. My instinct was to drown it in distraction, TV, food, endless scrolling. But instead I tried a simple drill. Sit and name. For 90 seconds I sat still and labeled each sensation without drama: tight chest, fast heartbeat, wet eyes. And something shifted. The pain didn't disappear, but it lost its teeth. The fog cleared. I could see the moment for what it was, hard but survivable. So here's your drill this week: when discomfort hits, don't run. Don't numb. Don't negotiate. Just set a timer for 90 seconds. Sit, breathe. Name the sensations exactly as they are. No stories, no judgment, just raw data. Your metric: complete 10 sit and name sessions in 7 days. Track them. You'll notice resilience rise 20 to 30%, sometimes more. Not because the pain lessens, but because you grow larger than it. And here's the line to etch into your mind. Discomfort is tuition. Pay it and grow. Say it. Drop it in the comments. Because every rep of discomfort you face is another rep of strength added to your soul. Rule 9. Discipline. Motivation. Here's the trap: most people wait for motivation. They binge watch motivational videos hoping for that spark. But sparks fade. A spark doesn't build a fire, discipline does. Epictetus wrote, "No man is free who is not master of himself." And that's the truth most people avoid. Motivation is a mood, it comes and goes like weather. Discipline is a system, it shows up rain or shine. If you depend on motivation, you'll quit the moment you feel tired, bored, or unseen. But if you depend on discipline, you'll rise regardless. Mini story: a writer I once coached kept waiting for inspiration. Weeks passed, not a single page. Then we set up one rule: 500 words a day, no excuses. At first it was brutal, but by day 30 he had 15,000 words, half a book draft. Not because he was motivated, but because he was disciplined. Here's your drill practice: the 3 inputs rule. Each week pick 3 actions you fully control. For example, 4 workouts, 5,000 words, 10 sales calls. Notice the difference. These are inputs, not outcomes. You don't control results. You control effort. Your metric hit 80% of inputs for 2 straight weeks. That's the line. Do it and something powerful happens. Your identity rewires. You stop being someone who tries. You become someone who does. So here's the line to burn into your mind. Systems keep promises, feelings can't. Say it. Drop it in the comments. And remember, freedom isn't doing whatever you feel like. Freedom is mastering yourself enough to build the life you respect. Rule 10. Stop arguing what a good person should be. Be one. We live in an age of endless talk. Scroll through any feed, and you'll see people arguing about morality, about politics, about what a good person should be. But here's the truth. You don't become virtuous by debating it. You become virtuous by living it. Marcus Aurelius cut right to the core. Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. That's a punch in the gut, isn't it? Because deep down, most of us already know the right thing to do. We just avoid doing it. We chase theories. We collect quotes. We read endless advice. But when it's time to act, we fold. I'll give you an example. I once had a friend who constantly posted about integrity, discipline, and kindness. His social media was full of wisdom. But offline, he broke promises, cut corners, treated people poorly. His words were loud, but his life was hollow. That's the danger of endless arguing. You start mistaking talk for transformation. The Stoics never treated philosophy as entertainment. For them, it was practice. It was alignment. It was about living in such a way that your daily actions matched your values. Seneca said philosophy should be a medicine for the soul, not a performance for applause. And Marcus lived that, writing his meditations not to impress anyone, but to remind himself to act better tomorrow. So here's a drill to put this into practice. The nightly 3. Every evening, ask yourself 3 questions. 1. Did I live one virtue? Today, wisdom, justice, courage, or temperance? 2. Where did I miss? And 3. What one correction will I make tomorrow? That's it. 3 questions. Simple but not easy. Your metric: complete 21 reflections in 30 days. That's 3 solid weeks of consistent alignment. And here's what happens. Slowly, your life begins to feel whole. Not because you argued about goodness, but because you practiced it. And here's the kicker. When your values and your actions finally align, you stop feeling like an imposter. You don't need applause. You don't need to convince anyone. Your life becomes the proof. So let this line anchor you. Don't explain your philosophy. Embody it. Here's your challenge tonight before bed. Try the nightly 3. Write it down. Live it tomorrow. Repeat. And if you're ready to stop performing and start embodying, drop this in the comments right now. I will live as the person I claim to be. You are not a prisoner of moods, gossip, or chance. You hold the blueprint and Stoic rules to turn fragility into strength. Don't wait. Pick one rule, live it today, then tomorrow repeat. If this struck something inside you, write in the comments, I fixed my mind. I fixed my life. Subscribe to Making Life Better for more timeless Stoic wisdom, and share this with someone who's ready to stop bargaining with weakness and start building unshakable strength.